right. There we go. Live. All right, move right on to it. All right. We're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Shema Shah. Double honor to the apostle brothers, the elder, great millstone. Shalom to him for another lesson. The title is Discerning the Signs of the Time. Right. Discerning the Signs of the Time. So you see the time that we are in. Rumors of wars going on, This devil come down, great wrath, the persecution for the word of Yahweh Shema Shah. That time is coming. And, we had some serious times. So we're going to sit here, get into the lesson, to the scriptures. And let's go to Proverbs 21, verse 1. Right. So, yeah. And who's controlling all this? It's all of Yahweh Shema Shah. Let's go to Proverbs 21, verse 1. It says, the king's heart in the hand of the Lord as the river of water, return it whatsoever his will, right? His will. The king's heart in the hand of the Lord, man. I say, man, the king's heart in the hand of the Lord. Right. So let's go back to that again. Proverbs 21, verse 1 again. It says, the king's heart in the hand of the Lord as the river of water, return it whatsoever his will, right? Whatsoever his will. So the king's heart is the hand of the Lord. Move on. Let's go to Proverbs. No Proverbs. Let's move on. What else? Nope. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. It said, for every battle of the world is with confusion noise and garment rolled in blood, but this shall be burning with fear of fire. Right? It said this shall be burning with fear of fire. What's that? Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. It said, for every battle of the world is with confusion noise and garment rolled in blood, but this shall be burning with fear of fire. Right? Burning fear of fire. What else? Let's go to Isaiah 13, verse 5. Yeah, Isaiah 13, verse 5. Isaiah 13, verse 5. It say, they came from the far country, from the end of the heaven, even the Lord of weapons. That's not Isaiah chapter 13, verse 5. They came from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapon of his indignation destroyed the whole land. Verse 6, hallelujah, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as destruction from the Almighty. Verse 7, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid in pains and sorrows. They shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travails. They shall be amazed one to another. Their faces should be as flame. Behold, the day of the Lord come cruel, both with wrath, fury, anger to lay the land desolate. He should destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Right? He should destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Isaiah 13 verse 11, and I will punish the world for their evil and their wickedness. For their iniquity I will cause the arrogance of thy proud to cease, and I'll lay a little hardness of terror, right? Lay no hardness of terror. Uh, Let me see. I get one couple more. Let's go to Isaiah 55, verse 11. Isaiah 55, verse 11, it says, should my words that be going forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void, but it shall come that which I please, and shall purpose in the things which I send it. Right when I said it. Isaiah 55, verse 11, it says, should my words that be going forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void, but it shall, but it shall, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall purpose in the things which I sent it. Right when I sent it. What else? Yeah, that's all the Isaiah. Jeremiah. Um, what else I get in Jeremiah? Chapter 50. Let's see what else. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse. No. Let's go to Jeremiah 50, verse. Let me see. I got some names. Yeah, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. Therefore, hear the word of no. Yeah, hear the no. Therefore, hear you the counsel of the Lord that he had take against Babylon, and his purpose that he had purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the lake of the flock should draw them out. Surely he should make the inhabit desolate with them. Right there, habit desolate with them. Read that again. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. Therefore, hear you the word. I keep saying hear the word. No, therefore hear you the counsel of the Lord that he that had take against Babylon, and his purpose that he had purpose against the land of Chaldean. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make the inhabit desolate with them. Right, the inhabit desolate with them. Um, Jeremiah 51, verse 7. Jeremiah 51, verse 7 is so no, let's go to Jeremiah 51, verse 1. Let's get that. It said, thou said the Lord, right? It said, thou said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, against them that dwell in the midst of them that raise up against me, a destroying wind, right? A destroying wind. And I will send unto Babylon fan that she will fan her. It should empty her land for the day of trouble. They should be against her round about. Well, against her round about. Verse 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon, deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off for iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon had been in golden cup in the Lord's hand, made all the earth drunken. Nations are drunk of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Right, the nations are mad. What else? We can move on. Joel chapter 1, verse 15. Joel chapter 1, verse 15. You say, It said, alas, for the day of the Lord is at hand. As instruction from the Almighty, shall it come, right? Shall it come. Joel chapter 1, verse 15. Alas, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and as instruction from the Almighty, shall it come, right? Shall it come. Joel chapter 2, verse 1. It say, blow the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord come forth. It's not in. So right, we are blowing the trumpet in Zion, and we are sounding alarm in his holy mountain. Let's skip down to Joel chapter 2, verse 10. It say the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be darkness, and the star shall withdraw thy shine. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong to execute his word, for the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. And who can abide it? Right? Who can abide it? Who can abide it? Um, Joel chapter 3, verse 14. Joel chapter 3, verse 14. It said, multitude of the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near. In the valley of decision, right there. The day of the Lord is near. In the valley of decision. We did again, Joel chapter 3, verse 14. It said, multitude in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near. In the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkness, and the stars shall withdraw thy shine. The Lord also shall roll out of Zion. He shall utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heaven and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel, right? Of Israel. Move on. Um, Go to Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. Habakkuk chapter 2. Let's go to verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he say unto me, and what I shall answer, what I am reproved. And the Lord will answer me and say, write the vision and make it plain upon table, that he may run that read it. For the vision yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. That is terror, wait for it, because it would surely come. It would not tarry, right? It would not tarry. What else? Right? It would not. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 3. Right? It would not tarry. Right. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. It says, gather yourself together. You gather together, O nation after Zion, before the decree bring forth, before the day passes the chaff, before the fear of the anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord anger come upon you. It says, verse 3, it says, seek you the Lord, all the meek of the earth, would have wrought his judgment, seek righteousness and seek meekness. It may be you should be hid at the day of the Lord's anger, right? You should be hid at the day of the Lord's anger. All right, move on. All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 16, verse 1. Matthew 16, verse 1, it said, the Pharisee also with the Sadducee came and temple desired him, and he would show them a sign from heaven. And he answered me and said to them, what if it will be far weather for a sky is red. The morning, hold on, and in the morning, it will be far weather for the day, for the sky is red. Oh, Lord, oh you hypocrite, you discern the face of the sky, but can you not discern the signs of the time, right? You can discern the face of the sky, but can you discern the signs of the time, the time that we are in? Verse 4, and the wicked and adulterous generation seeking after the sign, and there should no sign be given unto it, but the son of the prophet Jonah, and he left then and depart, right? Then he left then and depart. So, right, with that Matthew 16, verse 3, it say, you could discern the face of the sky, but can you not discern the signs of the time? That Luke chapter 12, verse 56. It was going to go right to that. Yeah. Luke 12. Oh, Luke 12. Was that 40? Let's go to 49. It said, I come to send fire on earth, and what it would be already kindled, right? Already kindled. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will it be already kindled? Luke 12, verse 56. You hypocrite, you could discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how it that you do not discern this time, right? You discern this time. With the other, that Matthew 16, where you discern the sign of the time. Luke 12, 56, you hypocrite, you can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how it that you do not discern this time, right? This time. All right, what else? First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. It said, but the time and season, brother, I don't need that I write unto you. For yourself known perfectly that the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night, right? So come as a thief in the night. Verse 3, for suddenly they shall, if when they say peace and safety, then suddenly destruction come upon them as tread upon a woman with child, and they should not escape, right? They should not escape. Let's read that again. First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3 is for 2. So for yourself known perfectly that the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night. They shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as dwell upon a woman with child, and they should not escape. Verse 4, it said, but you, brother, you are not in darkness, that the day shall overtake you as a thief. You are the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For that sleep in the night, and that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, and put on the breastplate of faith and love, and for the faith and love, and for the helmet, the hope of salvation. Yeah, I'm getting to it. So right. So right. Yeah, what's that other? What's that? First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse Verse 6, it said, therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober, right? Let us watch and be sober. Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. Revelation chapter 1, verse 3, it says, blessed he that readeth, hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Right, for the time is at hand. Revelation chapter 1, verse 3, it says, blessed is he that readeth, and hear the word of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. It's yeah, 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quick, right? The third woe coming quick. Revelation 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quick, right? The third woe coming quick. What's that? Revelation chapter 22, verse 10. Okay, how much time? I'm gonna go into some articles. You know, the title is Discerning the Signs of the Time. Revelation 22, verse 10. And he say unto me, seal not the saying of this prophet of this book, for the time is at hand. Right? For the time is at hand. So what else I want to get into? Let me see. Right, for the time is at hand. Let me see. Yeah, Acts 3, verse 19. What else? I think I'm forgetting something else. Right, so Acts 3, verse 19. It say, repent you therefore and be converted, that your sin may be blotted out when the time of refreshment should come from the presence of the Lord. Right? They say, repent you therefore and be converted. So right, let's look at that word converted. I think I know what it is, but
Coveted. Converted.
It says the bill has been have changed and from a character to be made something or different. Right, had changed. Let me see what else I can get. What another word for converted? Let me see. Let me see. What's not? Yeah, to change or something into a different from or yeah, to become converted. Yeah, uh, not to be too long, but it's gonna pick up. Okay, here we go. We got it. Okay,
Change. Turn.
turn to transform.
Transform.
So right. All right, we did it again. 3:19. Look at 3 verse 19. It say, "Repent you therefore and be converted, that your sin may be blotted out. When time refreshment shall come from the presence of the Lord." Verse 20, he shall sing your house shall anoint you before with preaching unto you, who in the heaven must receive it unto the time of restitution. All things which the Most High has spoken by the mouth of all his holy prophets, seeing the world begin, right? The world begin. For Moses truly say unto the Father and prophets, should the Lord your power raise up unto you of your brother like unto me, you shall know unto me, him shall you hear of all things whatsoever you shall say unto you. It shall come to pass that every soul will not hear the prophet, it should be restored from among the people, right? It should not hear the prophet, it should be restored from among the people. So that's verse 19. It said, "Repent you therefore, and be converted, that your sin may be blotted out, when time and fresh shall come from the presence of the Lord," right? Repent and be converted. Yeah. All right, what else? Let's not be too long. All right, let's go to Matthew. This should be it right here. Matthew 24, verse 42. Read Matthew 24, verse 22. "Except those days should be short, there should be no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days should be short," right? For the elect's sake, those days should be short. Matthew 24, verse 40, no, verse 42. It said, "Watch you therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord does come," right? Watch. Verse 44, "Therefore be you also ready, for sure an hour you think not, the Son of Man come in," right? The Son of Man come. All right, that should be it. Matthew 24, verse 42. It said, "Watch you therefore, for you know not what hour your Lord does come." Right, watch. What else we got? I mean, that's about long, but Let's get right to the article. Discerning the signs of the time. See. See. Let's get ready. Ready. Okay.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's Dina Calmetta here. And for today's show, I do have a few important headlines I'd like to share with you. And I'd like to start with this report from Sky News. It is being reported that apparently Serbia has placed security forces on Kosovo border at a state of full combat readiness. The report goes on to read that the order was given by Serbia's interior minister, who said he was acting on instructions from the president so that all measures be taken to protect the Serbian people in Kosovo. Kosovo, as of yet, has not responded to the move. It comes after weeks of escalating tension between the two sides, with ethnic Serbs claiming that they are being harassed by ethnic Albanian majority in Kosovo. The war in Kosovo ended in 1999 with NATO intervention. Kosovo declared independence in 2008, but Serbia refuses to recognize this and was repeatedly warned that it will protect local Serbs with all means if they are attacked. Since December 10th, local Serbs have erected 9 roadblocks in the northern region of Kosovo, where around 50,000 of them are alive. On Sunday, there was a shooting near a NATO peacekeeping patrol in one of the northern towns, and even though there were no injuries, NATO has said that it is investigating and has called for calm. The European Union has been trying to mediate between the two sides in Serbia, which has been armed with the help of Russian support. In the meantime, speaking of Russia, reported comments by U.S. officials about the possibility of a decapitation strike against Russia strongly suggest that Washington does not rule out the assassination of President Putin. According to the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, the minister noted that some unnamed officials from the Pentagon actually threatened to conduct a decapitation strike on the Kremlin. He went on to state that what we are talking about is the threat of physical elimination of the head of the Russian state. He also went on to state that if such ideas are actually being nourished by someone, this someone should think very carefully about the possible consequences of such plans. Apparently, Lavrov was referring to a September article by Newsweek, which alleged that the U.S. defense officials are considering a number of options to respond against a potential Russian nuclear strike, including a decapitation strike to kill Putin in the heart of the Kremlin. Fears of a possible nuclear conflict have been sparked in the West after Putin said in September that Moscow would use all means necessary to defend Russia and its people if its territorial integrity was threatened. However, Moscow has repeatedly stated that it has no plans to deploy atomic weapons, maintaining that a nuclear war should never be fought. Now, with that being said, the former president of Russia and current deputy chair of the Security Council wrote a lengthy article in which he summarized his thoughts on how the year 2022 has changed the world order forever. He stated in the article, "The only thing that stops our enemies today is the understanding that Russia will be guided by the doctrine on nuclear deterrence. And if there is a real threat, we will act." He also noted that in such a grim scenario, there will be nobody left to argue about whether that was a retaliatory strike or a preventive one. He went on to state that therefore the Western world is balancing between the burning desire to maximally humiliate, dismember, and destroy Russia, and on the other hand, the desire to avoid a nuclear apocalypse. Until Russia receives the security guarantees it has demanded, the world will continue to teeter on the brink of World War III and nuclear catastrophe, noting that Moscow is doing and willing to continue to do everything they can to prevent it. Now, with that said, Ukraine is to roll out the fast-track plan to deploy the devastating U.S. missile defense system on Russia. The U.S. Patriot system will be deployed in the war within 6 months. It takes roughly a year to train troops to use the system, which can lock onto targets 50 miles away. And some of the compatible missiles can hit missiles up to 100 miles away. The Ukrainian foreign minister says that Washington has developed a special plan for the Patriot missile system to be deployed far quicker. And Ukrainian troops could even be trained in the U.S. rather than in European countries such as Germany. But in the meantime, the foreign minister says that Kyiv is hoping to have a peace summit by February. But he also said that Russia must first be prosecuted for war crimes, adding that the United Nations should be the best. China stated that the military organized joint combat readiness patrols and joint firepower strike drills in airspace and waters around Taiwan. He also stated that the drills was a resolute response to the escalating collusion and provocation by the U.S. in Taiwan, adding that the PLA would take all necessary measures to defend China's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Now, Chinese officials did not reveal the nature of the alleged U.S. provocation, but the drills happened to take place 2 days after Joe Biden signed the 2023 U.S. National Defense Authorization Act into law. America's military budget for fiscal year 2023 authorizes $10 billion in security assistance in fast-tracked weapons procurement for Taiwan. The Chinese Defense Ministry on Saturday blasted the bill as yet another move that seriously jeopardizes the peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. So tensions are definitely boiling over between the U.S., Taiwan, and China. But they're not the only one. It is also being reported that South Korea has scrambled jets, fired shots after North Korean drones flies near South Korea. The report goes on to read that South Korea deployed jets and attack helicopters on Monday after 5 North Korean drones crossed into its airspace, including one that made it to the northern edge of the capital. The military fired 10 rounds from helicopters but did not shoot the drones down. One of the attack planes involved later crashed, but its 2 pilots were unharmed. A South Korean official said that the military had lost track of the unmanned vehicles, but that they are not in flight. South Korea suspended takeoffs and landings at 2 of its airports for about an hour during the incursion. Finally, it reports that tensions are increasing on the Korean peninsula as the North launched a record number of missiles this year, in which communist officials said were practiced to attack South Korea and the U.S. Now, if that were not enough, here's another report. India intends to field more than 100 ballistic missiles along its border with China and Pakistan. The report follows the New Delhi's claims of clashes between Indian and Chinese troops in a contested area earlier this month. A senior defense source stated that a high-level meeting of the Defense Ministry cleared the acquisition of around 120 missiles for the armed forces and their deployment along the borders. These missiles are said to have the capability of hitting targets at a range between 150 and 500 kilometers and being hard for air defenses to intercept due to the directional changes during the flight. The agency described the reported development as a major decision for the country, which now has the policy of allowing the use of ballistic missiles in tactical roles. Now, with that being said, if we go over into the Middle East, Iran state broadcaster has aired a video describing what it claims would be the response to an Israeli strike on Iran's nuclear sites, warning that Israeli targets would be destroyed within minutes and that a follow-up wave of rocket attacks would raze Tel Aviv. The report goes on finally to read that Israel has vowed to prevent Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons and has repeatedly said that it has the right to act in striking Iranian facilities to prevent what it sees as a threat. So in conclusion, this is a very serious situation between Iran and Israel and India and China, Ukraine, Russia, Serbia. It definitely seems like we are on the cusp of World War III. So definitely wars and rumors of wars. And as always, I will continue to keep you updated. But of course, I'd love to hear from.
So you see, that's all I want to get into. That's all. But yeah, so you see the title, Discerning the Signs of the Time. And now people's on discerning the signs of the time. They have no idea the time that we are in. Evil times. So I'm going to close out right there. So I want to bring that out. And, the articles as we would bring out, blowing the trumpet and sound the alarm. No, I forgot the rest of it. But yeah, so we're gonna give all praise. We're gonna close out, give all praise, honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Rashad. Double honor to the apostle brothers, to Elder Great Millstone. Shalom to the host. Shalom.